Hey y'all, IrixGuy here, and I'm just kind of testing the studio, so if y'all are watching this in real time, that's good. You know, I appreciate your feedback. I'm just trying to figure out what I need to do to make this work. Hold on. There we go. Let's see, let's do the chroma key. Let's see if we can do chroma key, the lower third. Boom. Woohoo. Okay, so what we're doing in this tutorial, I'm just kind of testing, trying to figure out how to best utilize my ATEM Mini Pro. So I've performed a lot of upgrades in the studio, one of which I've got my display over there, and I was looking over there, I'm like, dude, what's going on the show? You know, I'm looking over there, but what I have now is I've got a display right there, and I've got my display over there, and I've got it to where it outputs to both of those concurrently. So, you know, for people, you know, production assistants, you know, they're able to see that display, and I'm able to see this display. So, Yep, so this is just a live test. If you're watching this at approximately 8:10 p.m. New York City time, Eastern time, this is a live show. So, you know, your comments are welcome. You know, this is a test. You know, there's no sort of formal agenda or anything. It's just, you know, testing the ATEM Mini Pro. You know, one of the things that's so cool about the ATEM Mini Pro is how whoa, hold on. How a device so small. I mean, this thing is tiny. You look at it on the, you know, check the link within this video's description. You look at it, it's kind of like, man, that's going to be a pretty big device. But in reality, it's not that big. I mean, it's about, and I'll do some size videos for the ATEM Mini Pro, but it's a very small, yet large enough display, physical device, you know, to let people know that, you know, you're doing, you know, ATEM Mini. What's so cool about it, though, is that all of this chroma key is a fancy word for green screen. All of this chroma key, this green screen that you're seeing right now, this is going through the ATEM Mini Pro. You know, so the value of that, you know, especially, you know, I've got a pretty powerful laptop. I've got what do I have? 8-core MacBook Pro 2.3 i9, 2.3 gigahertz i9. You know, pretty hefty laptop. I mean, even in desktop standards, that would still be a pretty powerful computer. But the beauty of the ATEM Mini Pro is that, you know, even people, you know, whether you have a very powerful computer or you have a, you know, just a computer that's good enough to get online, you know, do a webcam chat, this, that, and the other, the value add of the ATEM Mini Pro is that what it enables people to do, you know, it's, you know, you're offloading your chroma keying. Everything you're seeing right now, the backdrop, that's, well, actually in the background, that's St. Martin in the French West Indies. And I filmed that video. But the background that you're seeing right now, the foreground where you're seeing IrixGuy's live show, and you got my logo right there, and you got IrixGuy's live show, and you got this little goofy looking satellite dish icon, all of that is going through the ATEM Mini Pro as well. So the background layer I filmed from a tripod when I was standing on Pinnell Island in the French West Indies. Kayaked over there, sweated out a lot, went over there, just drank a ton of rum. But, so that's the background clip. The foreground is a PNG, a transparent background, 1920 by 1080 image that I created. So all of this that you're seeing right now is the product of the ATEM Mini Pro. And the beauty of the ATEM Mini Pro, now keep in mind there's two tiers of the Blackmagic design ATEM Mini. There's the ATEM Mini, and then there's the ATEM Mini Pro. The ATEM Mini Pro is what I'm using. It's the higher price point Blackmagic design ATEM device. The value add, and again, it's expensive. Trep, welcome aboard, sir. Welcome aboard. This is a very informal live show. I'm having a few beverages. I'm having a few beverages, but what I'm going to do is test. I'm testing the Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro device. So, there's two tiers. There's the Blackmagic ATEM Mini, which is an awesome device, and then there's the Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro, which is also an awesome device, which is what I use. And it's a little bit higher price point than the ATEM Mini. And a lot of people, including myself, I'm a very I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I don't speak politically correctly or whatever. I'm just a very cheap individual. So for me to want to spend more is a tough sell. Now, why did I spend more to get the Pro, the ATEM Mini Pro, instead of just the standard ATEM Mini? Well, the reason is that the ATEM Mini Pro, what it'll do, it'll stream directly from the device to YouTube. So what you're seeing right now is coming directly from the ATEM Mini Pro. If I was using the lesser model, the ATEM Mini, which is still good, if I was using that, my live stream would be coming from my computer. So the value add of going ATEM Mini Pro versus ATEM Mini is, that this device is streaming directly from the device. Now, if I want to stream from my computer, I could do that as well. The thing that's cool about ATEM Mini or ATEM Mini Pro is that you connect it by way of USB to a computer. That computer sees that device as a USB webcam. So, in my case, I'm using a very high-end for me, maybe not high-end for everybody, but I'm using a Sony Alpha with a Sony G Master lens with a Rode microphone. So all the audio and video you're seeing is coming through that. This is all coming from the device, from the ATEM Mini Pro, streamed directly to YouTube. So, if you're using the standard ATEM Mini, not the Pro, the standard ATEM Mini, it doesn't have, you can connect to it and control it from a computer using network, Ethernet. But unless you have the ATEM Mini Pro, only the ATEM Mini Pro can actually control the live stream between the device and YouTube or Facebook or whatever. I use YouTube. So the cool thing about this is that what I'm doing, and the reason I'm doing this test is that, actually it's kind of funny, man. I was upgrading stuff in my studio earlier today, and I'm not the kind of guy that's going to claim injury and workman's comp or whatever, because if I did do workman's comp, I would only be filing a claim against my own company. But I was in my studio and I was doing some work, and I bent over and I picked up some stuff, and it's like, my back. No, actually, I pulled something in my back today. I did. I was moving a bunch of stuff around, and I pulled something, and it's like, whoa, you kind of see stars, and it kind of hurts. So, it was a painful thing. And even sitting here, if I try to lean back, my back kind of hurts. And, I'm not trying to be, what's the word for it? Let me think of the word. Hold on. Not trying to be, not trying to blow it out of proportion, but honestly, I was trying to get some stuff. I mean, I've been moving stuff around the studio, upgrading the studio, this, that, and the other. And I did legitimately pull something in my back. Now, obviously, I'm not going to sue myself. I'm not going to sue my own company for workers' I hate people that do that. But I'm not going to do that, but I legitimately injured myself. And if I try to lean back, it hurts. If I try to partially lean forward, it's all right. But if I have a beverage, it makes it feel better. But the reason for this, the purpose for this live show, now this is not a formal live show. This is just a testing. I'm testing the Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro. This device, and Blackmagic, if you're watching this, I want to tell you, I came from Wirecast. And granted, Wirecast is a very good product. But the thing that I noticed immediately, and again, I didn't change my infrastructure, you know, same internet connection, this, that, and the other. But immediately, when I transitioned from whoa, what's going on with my background there? Hold on. There we go. Let me set that in loop mode. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Yeah, but what I immediately noticed, you know, coming from a competitor's product, Wirecast, which is software, and I know they've got a hardware product, this, that, and the other, but the thing that I immediately noticed coming from Wirecast to Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro is that, you know, with Wirecast, it was challenging to get a 720p live stream. And again, my internet connection stayed the same. I've got a 50 meg down, you know, what do they say, up to 10 megs or whatever, upstream, I don't know. I don't trust my provider. They're a bunch of idiots. But the bottom line is that immediately when I put your product in my same studio and fired it up, I wasn't doing 720. I was doing 1080p 60, 1080p 60. So you've got something embedded within your product that is, in my opinion, far superior to Wirecast. Now, you know, what I'm trying to learn now, and, you know, this is just me coming from a Wirecast background, you know, how do I do all the other niceties? You know, how do I do the picture-in-picture? How do I do the, you know, I want to bring, you know, someone in. I've got my smartphone. You know, one of the cool things with Wirecast, and y'all have seen it on my channel, maybe you haven't if you're watching this video right now, but, you know, something cool with Wirecast is that what I could do is pop out my iPhone, my smartphone, and I could do you know, walk around the studio, show you my studio and this, that, and the other. Now I don't have that capability, at least to my knowledge, within the ATEM Mini Pro. What I like about what you're doing with the ATEM Mini Pro is that you're not pushing a subscription-based model. You know, that's something that, you know, Wirecast, they were saying, oh, you don't have to subscribe, but if you do, you know, here's the bottom line. I use Wirecast. I've spent, well, I mean, you know, looking back at my checkbook, I probably spent over $1,000 on that product, which is fine. They've got a great product. But, you know, if you don't choose to purchase the support option where you download the updates, what's probably going to happen with Wirecast is that you're probably going to encounter a situation where, you know, the operating system, in my case Mac OS, has upgraded. Therefore, if you don't upgrade the support, you're probably not going to get the updates that enable it to function with that current operating system. So, you know, with that being the case, that was a huge disappointment. And, you know, I'm not trying to bash Wirecast. I love Wirecast, great product. But, you know, what turned me on to Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro is that, you know, I'm not a subscription model kind of guy. You know, I don't want to continue to shell out money. If it's $5, $10, maybe it's just $1. I don't want to continue to shell that out. So what I would like is a buy once and, you know, have a quality product, do what I want to do with it, and not have to be nickel and dimed. And your design of your product, Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro, is very nice. Now, you know, there is opportunity for enhancements, and, you know, like most products, they're there are opportunities for enhancements, and that's understandable. And, you know, I'm live streaming this with the Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro. It's a very sleek device. I mean, I took it out of the box. I'm like, man, this is, you know, this is just, you know, when you're a nerd and you kind of nerd out and it's like, man, I got this thing, I got this new product in my hands. It feels so good. It's good build quality. And you just kind of get that. It's just kind of like, whoa, man, you know, this is good stuff. That's what I got. The things that you've got to do with the Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro, and like right now, if you're watching this, you see I've got my lower third, IrixGuy's Adventure Channel. I got my t-shirt on. I've got my little satellite dish over there, and I got my boat down there. And, you know, this is very cool, the way that it comes together. I think an opportunity for enhancement, or an opportunity for, you know, improve your product. The video that I have in the background is a full motion video clip. And obviously I had to export that as 1080p because it was originally in 4K. I filmed this video background in Pinell Island in St. Martin. And, you know, one of the things that kind of made me question jumping on board with your product, even though I wanted to get out of that, you know, that subscription-based model of your competitor, Wirecast, the fact that at least on paper, that it didn't seem that I could use full motion video backdrops. Now, I did call so I did call your support line, and actually the gentleman I spoke with, and I don't have his name, he was very knowledgeable, and I just said, look, I said, you know, I'm looking to buy Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro. You know, I do a, you know, I've got a, you know, YouTube channel that's trying to grow. You know, I'm not even to 100,000 subscribers yet, but I'm trying to get there. And can I use full motion video backdrops with the ATEM Mini Pro? And again, not to point fingers, but the person that I spoke with at Blackmagic, initially they were kind of like, well, you know, actually it's still images. But then I asked them questions. I said, well, you know, I saw this video, and is it true that if I do this, this, and that I can make, you know, your product use a full motion video backdrop? And actually they agree. They said, yes, you can. I think one of the failures with your product is that you need to be more transparent about, hey, you know, you can drag and drop a still image, you know, a JPEG, a PNG, whatever, and you can utilize that directly from your Blackmagic Pro, ATEM Mini Pro. But if you want to use a full motion video clip, no. At least with the current firmware, you cannot. No. You cannot use that downloaded to your Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro device. But if you follow this workflow, the workflow that I'm using, because obviously I've got a full motion video clip running behind me, it's a video that I filmed, I think you need to better integrate that within your device. And I'm not saying that you have to, and honestly, I mean, as inexpensive as media storage is nowadays, I think it would be a very nice gesture if you would say, hey, you know, drag your 1080p 1920 by 1080 video clip over and drag it into the device and into the ATEM Mini Pro device and use it as a full motion video backdrop. I think that would be very nice, because what I'm having to do, I've got actually input 4. Camera number 4 is an Apple TV. So what I've done from my laptop on my desk, I've streamed using AirPlay. I've streamed my video to my Apple TV, and I made the Apple TV my full motion video backdrop. But as cheap, as affordable, not cheap, but as affordable as media is today, why not release a firmware update that will allow your customers, like myself, to drag a 1920 by 1080 video, put it in your device in the media section, just like I would a PNG or a JPEG. It'll be so much cleaner. And I mean, I'm not saying it's a problem. I mean, you've definitely created and have released an outstanding device. But, you know, even though it's as good as it is, you know, I'm going to nitpick and I'm going to pull you apart because that's what I do. And I love your product. I mean, I really do. I really do love your product. But, you know, there's always the opportunity to not only make things more user-friendly, but I've got something uploading now. Let me see what's going on here. Hold on 1 second. My bandwidth is getting kind of janky. Let's see, let me empty my trash. It's at 93% buffer, and I'm only on medium setting instead of high. But see, part of that is me because I'm a very thrifty individual. Because, you know, I don't like to overspend for internet. I don't like to overspend for any sort of whatever, this, that, and the other. Hold on 1 second here. Let's see, I had something pop in here. Hold 1 second. There we go. Personal matters. So, yeah, I mean, it's this is a rock solid device, and the thing that I love the most, and I mean, granted, I mean, before I upgraded the MacBook Pro to the current model, and I'm using the 16-inch. Man, this thing's a pretty much a beast. I'm running 16-inch MacBook Pro with the I didn't go the fastest CPU because I felt it was overpriced, but I went with the next to the top. I mean, I'm running an i9. Oh, let me just pop it up. I'll tell you what I'm running. 2.3 gigahertz, 8-core Intel i9 processor with 32 gigs of RAM and a 1 terabyte SSD. So the beauty of this is that, you know, I'm running a pretty high-end computer for a laptop. But if you're not running a high-end computer, you know, everything you're seeing right now is being processed, including the green screen, by your device. I mean, that speaks volumes for the quality of your product. And I mean, I don't, if I don't like something, I'll tell you I don't like it, but I like your product. But you know, where I'm going to go, Blackmagic, you know, I'm going to pull you apart, man. And you know, and I don't mean to insult you in any way, but you have a very good product. But it's one of those deals, it's kind of like, and I had a friend of mine, he's like, you know, once you make millions, you know, multiple $1 million, you know, it's not a matter of, yeah, you got an airplane. It's a matter of, you know, how are you going to make the interior better? You know, you always want more. And in my case, you know, using your product, I love I mean, actually, honestly, I love ATEM Mini Pro, but there's just a few small things that your development team should be able to fix. And those things are, you know, again, you know, I'm doing the live green screen with a backdrop, with a video backdrop. Integrate that. Make us pay $10 extra for the unit. Stick in a solid state storage device that's capable of, you know, handling a few 5, 10, 20 minute long video clips. I mean, you know, it's only 1920 by 1080. We're not talking 4K right here. You know, do that. Make it a little bit better. I love your device. I'm looking at your multi-view right over there because I put it in front of me because I was looking over there like a fool in my previous shows. And I'm like, that's not acceptable. So I'm looking at it right here. One thing I would like you to do, even though I can see it because it's right in front of my face, But not everybody was going to have that many displays and, you know, displays in front of their face like this. So what I would recommend you do is enable us to see the mixer, the audio mixer. Make that full screen, because when I go into your ATEM Mini Pro, you know what I see? I go to output. I've got camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4, multi-view, program, and preview. Where the heck is the mixer? Let us make the mixer full screen, because a lot of people may want to see that. You know, also what I would like to see, you know, in a situation like mine where I've got multiple monitors, you know, let us go into multi-view, but let us go into multi-view and choose, okay, for example, you know, let's say I've got 4 monitors. Maybe I want to have 4 monitors and I want to have camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4 all on its own monitor. You know, let us do that. You know, and maybe I've got 5, 6, 7 monitors. You know, let us add the multi-view, the program, and the preview, and maybe the, you know, the mixer. You know, let us do that. You know, give us more flexibility as a customer. I mean, this is a very cool product. You know, what I admire most about this product is that, you know, I'm able to achieve this very good live stream, and you've got the buffer built in. And what I like is when I look at the on air, I can see the caching or the catching, whatever you want to say, caching. You know, for the live stream, I can look at that and I can see that, you know, the bandwidth is unacceptable, and, you know, there may be a little bit of viewing challenges for the viewers. You know, I like that. You know, I can just look at it as a quick glance. What you may also want to do, because I bought, and it was cheap, I mean, I bought it off of, you know, insert whatever here, you can find it on my website, but I bought a little splitter that'll let me export, or output rather, the video from my monitors in front of my face also to my monitors on the wall. So if I want to, you know, one thing with a live stream, you want to maintain eye contact with your viewers, but if you're an independent YouTube channel, you probably want to, you know, look at your cell phone screen. So, you know, maybe have 2 outputs in an upgraded device so that you can have a monitor in front of you, but also have a second monitor in the control room for the control room if it's a bigger production. And I mean, again, you know, I'm just IrixGuy's Adventure Channel. You know, I'm just trying to get, you know, my next milestone, my miniature milestone of 100,000 subscribers. You know, I'm trying to get there. I'm at almost at 75,000 now, but, you know, I don't have the budget that a lot of people do. Roland says, the ATEM Mini Pro has built-in chroma keying. Are you using it now? Roland, welcome aboard, sir. Welcome aboard. The chroma key that you're seeing right now is indeed coming from the ATEM Mini Pro. And the ATEM Mini Pro, even though I have my laptop on my desk, the ATEM Mini Pro is directly connected to YouTube. So everything that you're seeing is coming directly from the ATEM Mini Pro. And, you know, I don't have, you know, that's what's so awesome about this. I mean, I've totally offloaded the chroma key and the live stream and all that to the ATEM Mini Pro. That's why I spent, what is it, like twice the price of the ATEM Mini. That's why I doubled up and spent more to get this functionality. And the video you see in the background, Roland, that's a video that I filmed on Pinnell Island. And that's St. Martin you see in the background, the French side. But I filmed that. Now, actually, the video, and this is where Blackmagic could improve their product, which I love their product. Don't get me wrong, but it's a work in progress, and I'm going to provide feedback, continuous feedback. But the background that you see is a background that I filmed on Pinnell Island in 4K, 3840 by 2160. I exported that video to 1920 by 1080, optimized for Apple devices. And that's what I'm streaming now. I'm streaming it from the background is a loop video that I'm streaming from my Apple TV. So to continuously loop, and I've added that as the, you know, for the chroma key. And then I've got my downstream keyer that you see in the foreground. That's a PNG 1920 by 1080 still image that I created, and I've overlaid in there. So this is a very capable and very cool device. You know, I'm loving that I'm able to do this from a piece of hardware versus having to pay a subscription like I did for a competitor's product. And you know, I did like Wirecast. You know, don't get me wrong, but with Wirecast for my internet connection, because my internet connection speed is pretty crappy, I was able to get 720p. As soon as I installed the ATEM Mini Pro, I'm doing 1080p 60 frames per second. So they've Blackmagic Design definitely knows their tech. They definitely know their hardware. And I'm looking at the field monitor over there. I mean, this is super cool. Yeah, I mean, this thing is, and again, you know, I bought this on my own. I'm not sponsored by Blackmagic. You know, if I want to, you know, call Blackmagic bad names, I can do that. You know, I don't have any sort of allegiance with them. I mean, this is a product I bought on my own, and the reason I did it, and you can check out my other videos, you know, I'm working to improve the production quality of IrixGuy's Adventure Channel. You know, especially with these unprecedented times. How far behind you is your green screen? Great question, man. I'm touching it. Touch, tap, head, green screen, head, green screen, head. It's about a foot. And, you know, it's one of those things with, you know, working with the environment I've got, and keep in mind, I'm over a, you know, I mean, I'm not a multimillionaire yet. I'm just some, you know, poor schmuck. But I'm above a garage. So I do have a garage in my residence, and this is a room above a garage. So if you could imagine just a modest one-car garage, that's the distance that I have. So I've got, you know, from the back of my head to the wall. And actually, let me measure that. Hold on. Let me measure that for y'all. A little bit less than 2 feet. So from the back of my head right now, it's a little bit less than 2 feet. Yeah, and then the distance, so a little bit less than 2 feet from the back of my fat head to the wall, and then from my face to the camera. Let's measure that. Let's see how far that is. Hold on one second. I'm going to measure that. So from the lens of my camera to my fat nose is approximately 8 feet. So, you know, this is testing. I mean, you know, honestly, this product, this ATEM Mini Pro, and, you know, again, it's like anything else. Hold on one second. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Yeah, so it's a really cool product. Roland, hold on one second. So are you using the ATEM Mini Pro as well? Because if you are, I think I can help you out. I mean, I may be able to help you out. Roland says, I'm struggling with a bit of chroma bleed haloing from a green screen a couple feet behind me. Okay, the few questions that I would have about your setup, and number one, my wall, and it's funny, it's got a curvature in it, and you don't see it in this video. The curvature is right there because I just got I'm above I'm just, some small schmuck in a small house with a small garage. But this roof line is a little bit curved. So I do have a line right there. I tell you what, let me take this chroma key off temporarily here. Let's see. Hold on one second. See, yeah, this is where I am right now. If you look at the chroma key, and you can't really see the line right there, but there is a line right here where the wall kind of curves up. Yeah, I took a leak and I wasn't muted. But I mean, obviously there was no video. I mean, the video's out here. Hmm. Yeah, but the green screen, the secret to this is that, you can see if I put my hand kind of close, there's shadows, but if I kind of go further away, there's not. The lighting that you want to check out is the lighting that I have on my YouTube channel, on my page. Let me pull that up. The lighting is what's so key because I've got my key light and I've got my two green screen lights and they're all matched. Let me send you a link to that. I'm sorry about that. Let me get a link to these. These lights. These lights are cool, man. Let's see. I got some business stuff coming in here. Hold on. Hold on one second, man. Hold on one second. I'm gonna shoot you this link, and then I'm gonna be right back. Okay. Sorry about that. I feel like an idiot, but it's kind of funny in the same way. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm back. Hold on 1 second. Washing my hands. Coronavirus. You gotta watch out for that corona. Watch out. 1 second. Taking my 20 seconds of hand washing. There we go. Woohoo! Back. Sorry about that. Had some stuff I had to do. So we got the audio back. Okay, here we go. Rolling. Sorry about that, man. Okay, let's see. Roland says, I'm using Elgato pop-up green screen. You have good even lighting. Thank you for the advice. Have 3 Elgato. Elgato is very good equipment. Actually, probably better than what I'm using. Really appreciate you sharing your expertise. It's okay. The nice thing about Wirecast Pro and OBS is that you can do your compositing and total scene switching with the click of a mouse compositing. Roland Dobbins says, with Wirecast Pro, you can distort video window sizes and ratios in order to paste them into irregular surfaces. My problem is that I have an 8-core i9 MacBook Pro with 32 gigs of RAM and Radeon Vega 20, yet it struggles to handle both audio and video processing. You know, it's funny, you say you have that MacBook configuration. I've got an 8-core i9 with 32 gigs as well, but I'm running the Vega 64. So we're pretty similar with the specs there. Yeah, I mean, I think that what Blackmagic Design has done with the ATEM Mini Pro is actually brilliant, because what we're able to do, this standalone device is able to handle the live chroma key, the live green screen, all of that. And, we don't have to, us being the YouTube streamers, we don't have to worry about the the chroma key. I mean, it's just going to do it. I mean, you set it up right, say I just pop the chroma key back on, we're good to go. Fine and dandy. And it looks good too. I mean, that's what I like about it. I mean, it's a good quality. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. It's a very good quality, very convincing green screen effect. And actually, the other night on the live show, I had some guests, and they were providing feedback, and they said there were, and probably you're seeing it right now, some green areas on the corners, on the edges of my shirt. So let's see. Roland says, I run a bunch of audio plugins in MainStage, and when I have something like my limiter meter on screen when using Wirecast, it seems to compete for the Radeon, and I end up with latency. So like to offload the video to the ATEM Mini Pro, but struggle with chroma keying and one-touch scene composition. You've got a very complicated setup, man. I mean, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, that's just very cool. So just kind of we're kind of on the same level here with with what we're trying to do with our live streaming. Just to kind of put us on the. Let me lower this. My mic's a little bit hot here. Here we go. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yeah, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There we go. Okay, now my mic's not, actually it is a little bit hot. Hold on. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, we're good. So just so we're kind of on the same page here as far as what we want to do, what we want to accomplish with our live streaming. My thing is, just to give you a background, I don't know if Roland, have you been a subscriber of my channel, or did you just happen to pop in because this popped up as a Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro video? Because that'll help me put us on the same page here. Lee says, may you give me a shout out, please. I'm going to give you more than a shout out, Lee. Hold on. Let me get something to give you a proper shout out. Just a second here. Yeah, we got a shout out request. And by the way, this device right in front of me is the sound of the super chat. So anytime a super chat comes in, this thing will sound. But because Lee asked for a shout out, I'm just going to give a free shout out. That shout out was to Lee, or Leah, however you want to say it, Leah Gray or Lee Gray. And Roland says, no green screen haloing, your key is good. Yeah, Lee, that was to you. To you, governor. Shout out to you. Just because you asked for it, this channel is all about the viewers. So, you asked for it, maybe we can deliver. That's what it's all about. So I appreciate you tuning in. This is a live, just kind of testing the live streaming equipment. The end goal for this is to create a talk show type format. Roland says, your audio levels are fine, no distortion. Roland, I appreciate that. And see, this is where I'm learning, Roland. I'm trying to figure out how to better use this tool. My bandwidth is kind of crappy. I've got a 50 meg down on a good day and an 8 or 9 meg up on a good day. Should be going to 10, but it's usually about 5 or 6 on the upstream. So Roland says, new viewer search found you. Man, I appreciate it. And definitely be sure to subscribe, because, it seems like the two of us, based upon the questions you've asked and the comments that you've posted, you seem to be a much more advanced ATEM Mini Pro user than I am. So I think, us being able to bounce ideas off one another, could be beneficial. Again, just to kind of quickly, recap my background, I use Wirecast, and that was my live streaming solution. And I didn't, I'm cheap, man. I'm just struggling YouTuber here, trying to survive and get to the next level. But, having to spend, $100 or so a year for Wirecast renewal, a lot of businesses will say, $100 is next to nothing. And that's acceptable. If you've got a profitable business, $100 should be next to nothing, because if it seems like a significant amount, then your business is probably pretty crappy. But my business is kind of crappy, so $100 a month is a significant expense. So what I'm trying to do is, it's all about ROI, return on investment. So I'm trying to invest in hardware, technologies that are not subscription backed, and provide an as good or better presentation than I could if I had to subscribe. And I feel pretty confident that that the ATEM Mini Pro should be able to accomplish that. With that being said, like you're asking questions about how to do this and that with the ATEM Mini Pro. I'm asking the same thing, but I think that we're in a boat. We're in a boat here to where we can openly converse. This is not a formal live show. I open this live stream for the, again, for the sole purpose of they're talking about the ATEM Mini Pro. Wow, this live stream's been on the air for over an hour. And that's part of the other thing too. I wanted to test the endurance of this product. Roland says everything is solid. Man, I appreciate that. And that's, the cool. And here's where I need help. If you've got expertise in this arena, when I trend, look at that. Now see, I just messed up because my Apple TV timed out. Look at that. That's unacceptable. Let me fire that puppy back up. So I need to work on that. Apple TV tends to time out. And by the way, my Apple TV, when my backdrop disappeared, that's what caused that. See, now I've got my Apple TV running again. Even if I do the loop, it seems it only loops so much and then the device will time out. So it's probably something simple. I'll probably just need to go into my Apple TV settings and look at the, look at the timeout setting, the screensaver setting, because apparently what happened, the Apple TV timed out after playing that. Whoa, we don't want that video clip. We want this other video clip. There's my Apple TV menu. Hold on. And the only reason I used the Apple TV was that, well, number one, I had one. It was the older model, 1080p. And it was able to, let's see, here we go. So there's my Apple TV menu, and now there should be my video popping up. There we go, my continuously looped. You just do view and then loop within QuickTime Player after you've streamed to your Apple TV, and it should loop. But I wish it was a continuous loop, so I got to fix, I got to look into that. But Roland says, all you need is 5 megabits per second for 1080p video. Your stream is rock solid. Man, I appreciate it. It's funny, the same internet connection, exact same internet connection when I was using Wirecast, and this is not talking negatively about Wirecast because I love the product, but I could never achieve consistent, reliably beyond 720p with Wirecast. I popped this ATEM Mini Pro in the same studio, the same internet connection, and voila, I am achieving 1080p 60 frames per second. So, it's a huge upgrade to the Wirecast that I was previously using. So that's kind of cool that it's able to do that. I tell you, one of the things I've really loved and admired about this ATEM Mini Pro is the ability to have the multi-view. Now, I don't know, and because I haven't used the lesser product, they've got an ATEM Mini, and then they've got the ATEM Mini Pro, which is what I'm using, which is basically about twice the price. But when you're looking at a solution that you would probably want to use for the long term, it may be worth, spending the extra for it. The multi-view is very nice because I'm looking at the field monitor. There's my camera there when I'm looking at y'all. But I've got my studio monitor right there, and I can see the program view, and everything looks good. Now, the enhancement that I'm making, and you can check out my ATEM Mini Pro video playlist on my channel to find all my videos, but I also have a studio monitor over there. So during previous tests, I was looking over there. It's like, dude, what you looking at, man? What you looking at? I'm looking at the studio monitor. But see, now I can look at y'all. And then when I look at the studio monitor, it's a casual glance. See, looking at y'all, studio monitor. Y'all, studio monitor. Y'all, studio monitor. And then old studio monitor, studio monitor. So, it's it's funny how this tech improves things here. Let's see. Thanks and absolutely. Roland says Wirecast Pro support renewal is $200 a year. As far as I know, $200. $200 is $200. Man, I mean, we're not all millionaires. That is a lot. Ugh. Roland says, wow, music. Ready for the rave. Lee Gray says, I just got my Mavic Air 2. Congratulations. And if you didn't check it out already on epicdroneshow.com, IrixGuy.com, check out all of the accessories for the Mavic Air 2 as well. Lee says, my Parrot Bebop 2 crashed. Parrot Bebop 2, you know, cool drone. Parrot needs to get off of their toy, get out of their toy phase and just release a professional product to compete with DJI. And you know, they tried to do it with a Nafi, but they kind of struggled. Roland says, so your high-end MacBook struggled too. Yeah, that's the funny thing, man. Roland, and granted, when I was using Wirecast heavily, I was using my previous MacBook Pro, which was the original i9, which I think, what was it, a 2.8 gigahertz i9 6-core, and I only had 16 gigs of RAM in that computer. But then I upgraded to this computer that I have now, which is funny. I didn't get the 2.4, but I got the let me pull the specs up. So the MacBook Pro I'm on now is a 2.3 gigahertz, 8-core i9 with 32 gigs of RAM and a 1 terabyte SSD. So both my previous i9 and my current i9 struggled with Wirecast. With Wirecast, I was only able to achieve for my internet connection 720p. Same internet connection, what you're seeing right now is what you're seeing right now from my ATEM Mini Pro. Now granted, my ATEM Mini Pro, if I bump it up to the highest quality, it seems to start to buffer a little bit. Right now I have zero buffering. I've got 100% okay on the ATEM Mini Pro and the multi-view when I look over there. So it's been a quality product, man. It has been a quality product so far. So, you know, it's Roland says, how do you process the audio from your Rode wireless on the ATEM Mini Pro? Great question. And actually, before I answer that, let me add that to my video to-do list, because part of what I'm doing with this is I'm trying to field as many questions as possible and respond to those questions face on video. But I'm going to respond to your question during this live troubleshooting video here. But that is a wonderful question. And that's going to be Rode Wireless Go ATEM Mini Pro tutorial. Okay, I'm adding that to my to-do sheet. So the way I do it, and actually it's quite simple, and I'll post a separate video to address this, but the Rode Wireless Go that I have on my shirt, and optionally I can use my Rode Lavalier Go if I want to look more professional, but I mean, obviously I've been drinking a few, you know, insert beverage here, and I don't really care about looking professional, and I've got a t-shirt on, I don't have a tie, you know, I'm not trying to look sophisticated. But if you want to use your Rode Wireless Go, whether you're just using it by itself or with your Lavalier Go, your Rode Lavalier Go, it's actually very simple. So what I've done, and I've got, and again, I'll post a separate video in the near future to, you know, step through this step by step. But the camera you're seeing me on right now is my primary camera. It's a Sony A7R4 with a Sony G Master 24 to 70 millimeter lens. On top of that camera, I have my Rode Wireless Go transmitter, and it's plugged into the camera's microphone input jack. And then I've got the receiver on my chest, which is, which is wirelessly connected to my Sony a7R4. So all the audio that you're hearing now is coming from the Rode Wireless Go that's connected directly to my Sony a7R4. And it's on camera input number 1 on my ATEM Mini Pro. So that's the audio you're hearing. And I prefer to do it that way. And actually, within the ATEM Mini Pro, I set it up that way, and I go to the audio tab within the ATEM software control software. I hope you've installed that on your Mac. If you haven't, you need to download it, because if you, and like right now, I'm looking at my ATEM software control application on my Mac, and what I'm able to see in there is the audio levels. So I'm able to tweak the audio levels for the microphone that's coming from my primary camera, which is HDMI 1 camera 1, and I've, at the very bottom under the pan setting, I've set it to on, which means that if I go to other cameras, you know, maybe I share my computer's desktop, maybe I share my Apple TV, whatever the video source may be, my audio from this ATEM Mini Pro is always on. Roland says, our MacBook Pros are almost identical. Yeah, no doubt, man. You know what's funny about Apple? Apple's about to switch to ARM. They're going to go to their in-house CPU, so they're about to abandon Intel. Excuse me. Roland says, do you plan on doing background scene switching with a separate remote device? I'm going to play dumb, and I don't know what you just said. Clarify that for me, because I'm kind of an amateur with this live streaming setup. It sounds cool. And Roland says, you sound fine. No need for lav. Lav being a lavalier mic for everybody else out there. I want some chicken wings. I want to eat some chicken. That's what I want. Chicken wings. Oh, there goes my background again. I guess I got to figure out how to make this Apple TV infinitely loop. You know what's funny? Infinitely loop, that's a funny term, because Apple, their headquarters it's in Cupertino, and it's something infinite loop drive or something like that. Because that timed out. I got to fix that. That's unacceptable. Let's see what we got here. Roland says, I think you have the transmitter on your chest and the receiver on your camera. Yeah, so this right here is a doohickey with the microphone. And then on my camera, I've got the little red, you know, Rode cable plugged in, the little twisty cable, and it plugs into that doohickey. So, yeah, and I'm running the Rode Wireless Go. Roland says, yes, I have the control software on the Mac. Wasn't that difficult as everything to figure out where from the Blackmagic design website to download the software for the ATEM Mini Pro? I found that to be extremely complicated for what it was. Like super complicated. Yahoo! Oh yeah. Yeah, so I've just been tinkering around, and I appreciate you saying you like the lighting, Roland, because, and again, this is not expensive lighting. You can check out on my channel, the link that I sent earlier, but just search for on my channel The Godox, Godox. This is Godox lighting, man. I know you said you're using Elgato, which is very high end. Roland says, right now you have to use the remote for Apple TV to switch scenes, or one infinite loop. Yeah, one infinite loop, you're right. That's Apple's address. Actually, I don't have to use the remote to switch scenes. Brad, welcome aboard, sir. This is a live test of the studio equipment. Brad, we need to get up for a live stream. I've got all that perfected. I've got a new tool, and I'm going to be able to pull you into the live stream and up to 6 other guests, and we're going to make it rock off. Brad says, Mavic 3 rumored release date September the 26th. I hope so. I love the Mavic Air 2, but man, let's bring something even better out, you know? So, Roland, the way that I have to do this, man, I've just got to, like, all I do, you know, on your Mac, when you go up to your top right of your screen, you see it looks like a little TV with a triangle in the bottom of it. So I click that triangle. Actually, I don't do that. I click the video file. Let me see if I can share. Let me share my desktop here, and I'll show you what I do. Hold on. I will show you what I do. I'll show you what I do. Hold on. Brad says, leaked teaser images have been found. Mavic Air 3 is imminent, governor. Mavic Air 3 is imminent. Cheers. So, yeah, actually, Roland, what I'd have to do is run a cable. And what I often do, I run a cable from... Roland, I'm not a videographer as well, man. I'm some dude. I mean, let me give you my quick background. So I went on a cruise, and this was a few years ago before YouTube Partner Program was, you know, by anybody that wanted to apply. It was by invitation only. So I went on a cruise, and YouTube reached out to me. They're like, hey, man, you know, we saw your cruise ship video. Do you want to become a YouTube partner? I'm like, yeah, what's that? And basically the gist of it was that, well, if you become a YouTube partner, your videos may be eligible for monetization. So I'm like, yeah, I like to make money. So, you know, let me see what I can do here. And so I became a YouTube partner when it was by invitation only. One thing led to the next. And I went from, you know, guy with a, you know, a discounted cruise with, you know, points and rewards points and this, that, and the other to guy that took a $100 point and shoot, you know, poor quality camera on the cruise ship to a guy that discovered an opportunity in video monetization because YouTube reached out to me. So, you know, I'm very, you know, I think very highly of YouTube, and I appreciate them reaching out to me. And, you know, they turned me on this opportunity. I mean, part of, you know, what you're seeing now, this curiosity would not have existed had YouTube not reached out to me and say, oh, you know, do you want to become a YouTube partner? Because I'm not going to waste my time. You know, I'm not the kind of guy that's going to do something for the fun of doing it without the possibility of reward. And in this case, you know, with YouTube, I'm able to have fun, explore curiosities, but also monetize those curiosities because I'm taking the time, I'm investing my time, my energy, my effort into exploring something, and then I'm presenting it to the world. So it's very cool. But yeah, I am not a professional videographer, Roland. I'm definitely not, man. I'm just some dude that, you know, that likes to you know, YouTube and pursue niche business models. So, yeah, man, with that being said, Roland says, I mean, you have to use something separate from the ATEM Mini Pro itself to switch your background video. Yes. So the most, and I posted a video on this, check it out on my channel, but the short answer, the short explanation, since you're using ATEM Mini Pro, so, you know, your ATEM Mini Pro, my ATEM Mini Pro, we both have 4 HDMI inputs. So my HDMI input number 1 is a camera that you're seeing me on right now. So my face on video camera is HDMI input number 1. So what I'm going to do here, so what you're seeing right now with the downstream keyer that I've added, this is HDMI 1. So this is my camera 1. I'm in front of the green screen. You can see how my green screen is lit, which I've tinkered with this, and I think the Godox lights are doing a pretty good job. Now what I do in HDMI number 4 that I just popped up, HDMI number 4 is my Apple TV. So when you're seeing this background right now, this background is HDMI number 4 in my ATEM Mini Pro. And that's my Apple TV. So what I'm doing to my Apple TV, I've got Apple TV plugged directly in. I set up my Apple TV on my TV so I could set up the Wi-Fi network, this, that, and the other. But then I unplugged it from that TV and I plugged my Apple TV directly into HDMI input number 4 on my ATEM Mini Pro. So what I'm able to do from my MacBook Pro is I'm able to go to my folder on my MacBook Pro and click my 1080p video. In this case, it's the background you're seeing now, which is Pinell Island. And I just hit play, and then I put, well, play on which device? Play on the Apple TV. And then I merge, check out my chroma key tutorial for ATEM Mini Pro. I bring in HDMI 4, which is Apple TV, and I chroma key HDMI 4 with HDMI 1, which is my face on video, and then the other component that I add is what you're seeing here, which is the lower third, which is my downstream key, which is just a 1920 by 1080p PNG image, and I've got a tutorial for that. Roland says, how are your views and monetization during the pandemic, up or down? Really appreciate your openness and willingness to share your experience and knowledge. Dude, great question. And I mean, we're inevitably, like I said, you're from Venezuela and I am from North America. And, this pandemic has been problematic for all of us. And I will say, and again, respecting the privacy of the opportunity that I'm part of, I would never disclose dollar amounts, but, I will say, without disclosing dollar amounts, I will say that the pandemic has definitely negatively impacted the opportunity. And, I hope it's not the same. I hope it's not the same case for you. It may be, but, it's one of those situations that's definitely provided. It is definitely not provided, but it's definitely created a negative impact for for AdSense earnings. And with that being said, it's also created the opportunity for people that choose to innovate to say, okay, well, what's going on right now? We've got a global crisis. Okay, well, what has that impacted? People aren't going and coming like they were. Some people are. Some people are at, insert big box retailer XYZ here, there, and everywhere. And they're there, and they were there without their mask on, and, that's their own choice. And, I don't want to turn this into a political thing, but, the bottom line is that the bulk of the people, I think it's a safe assumption that the bulk of the people that, are affected by this, rather, are probably less coming and going than they were before the pandemic. So, with that being the case, I think it's a situation where if you're a business person and you look at it and it's like, well, there's opportunity here. You've got more people at home. You've got more people that want to remain connected with the world. You've got more people that want to continue to enable their businesses to thrive. They're going to have to innovate. They're going to have to say, okay, well, going door to door, knocking on the door, shaking hands, this, that, and the other is probably not an option right now. And, if it is, it's probably frowned upon. So, how do I propel my business? How do I march forward, given the current political and, whatever climate? I mean, a lot of this is political. You can't deny that. But the bottom line is that, most people, most individuals, most businesses are more home-based now. So, with a more home-based business, how do you better market that? And I think it's let's see. Roland says, yes, you're controlling the Apple TV out of band. Maybe I can automate both ATEM Mini Pro and video playback from the Elgato Screen Deck. Are you familiar with the Blackmagic HyperDeck Studio Mini? I'm familiar with it from reading about it, because when I read my PDF that came with the ATEM Mini Pro, it was talking about the HyperDeck. Now, you got to keep in mind, man, you're talking about technologies. The technologies you're mentioning are very nice. And, I'm the guy that migrated from the generic USB to USB-C input device. I'm that guy, and I migrated from that it was about $100 US device to this approximately $600 ATEM Mini Pro device, and I just love this thing, man. I'm just trying to learn. Roland says, I'm not from Venezuela. I was referring to the instrument you were playing. It reminded me of a South African Venezuela. Oh, you're not from Venezuela. Here we go. That's a didgeridoo. Hold on. Hold on. It takes a practice. That, my friend Roland, is the didgeridoo, and that is from Australia. And actually, this one came from Australia. And speaking of Australia, as soon as the COVID clears, IrixGuy's Adventure Channel plans, it's our intent to travel to New Zealand and Australia. So, that's that is big on the to-do list. Reminding everyone in the audience, again, this is just testing ATEM Mini Pro equipment for the long haul. I'm doing this extended broadcast because I want to try to answer questions in real time, but I also want to test the ability for this ATEM Mini Pro to maintain a consistently solid live stream. And I'm watching my own air, and it has not dropped. And I'm not in top quality, but again, my internet is pretty crappy. I've got a 50 megabit downstream and a up to 10 megabit upstream. But what I found is that with the ATEM Mini Pro, that I'm getting 1080p 60, even though I'm in medium quality. And maybe I could get, what's the word for it? Maximum quality in 1080p 60. Ani48 says, thank you very much. I learned more from ATEM Mini Pro videos, from your ATEM Mini Pro videos, than from specialized channels on YouTube. Greetings from Panama, Republic of Panama. Panama, very, very cool. I appreciate the kind feedback. And actually, Panama is on my to-do list. I want to get down there. I want to go through that Panama Canal, and I want to sit out on the beach and drink some... see, what do they have? What's the local beer down there? It's not Presidente. That's Dominican Republic. What's the beer that's local to Panama? Because I want to come down here and drink some of that. Coin Collecting says, hello. Coin Collecting with Tyler says, can I promote my channel? My channel is trying to get 700. I'm a young numismatist. I've got a numismatist story for you. I really enjoy your videos. I love Chinese silver pandas. Chinese silver pandas are some of the best, not just bullion coins, but also bullion coins with a potential numismatic value. How did I become familiar with the word numismatist? And this is a true story. So, you know, I was on my honeymoon. I got married. This was back 2009. You know, I was down in the British Virgin Islands, man, and I went to this island. It was called Peter Island in the British Virgin Islands, and you know, I was down there with my wife because I got married and stuff, and you know, we're hanging out, we're having a good time, you know, just eating good food, going to the beach, and you know, doing this, that, and the other, and you know, we went to dinner a few nights. You know, we're on a small island, so you see the same people everywhere. You got a few restaurants, and it's, you know, high-end food, this, that, and the other, and so, you know, we're in the restaurant, and we meet these people, this husband and wife. They just got married too, and what's your name? I'm not going to say their names because I respect privacy, but, you know, it was, you know, my name's so-and-so, my name's so-and-so, you know, what's your name? And you know, the next logical question was, well, what do you do? And they said, he said he's a numismatist. I said, what the heck's a numismatic is coin value. Numismatist is the person that's the expert with that. So he was a numismatist. And I thought that was so cool. It was such a cool word. I'm like, what the heck is this? So we started talking, and, you know, long story short, he said, what do you do? And that was before I was a YouTube celebrity or whatever you want to call it. And I was like, well, I just do this, that, and the other. And it wasn't YouTube. It was just some rinky-dink stuff. And we started talking. He was talking about, you know, being a numismatist. And that encouraged me to get out the coins and just start reviewing coins. And it was fascinating. You know, I mean, taking what, you know, could have been easily perceived as a bunch of junk in a storage box as no longer a bunch of junk, but something that may have value. And I mean, looking at each individual piece and looking at the, you know, the mint and the year, and then beyond that, looking at the condition and, you know, could this be quality enough condition to justify sending off to being professionally graded? You know, if it's a rare mint mark and a rare coin, and it's in, you know, somewhat good condition, you know, should I send it off and get it professionally graded? I mean, it was kind of a cool thing. So, you know, I learned, you know, I was, you know, a stroke of good luck. You know, I ran into somebody that was a numismatist, and they turned me on to the coin opportunity. And, you know, after that, I'm just like, you know what? It was just a natural evolution. It's like, well, you know, I found out about coins, and now I've got coins, and, you know, I'm just going to do all these coin videos. And, you know, it was just kind of a goofy experience, but, you know, it's been fun. I mean, coins are cool, man. Coins are cool. Colin, Coin Collecting with Tyler says, Roland Dobbins, I hope you enjoy my channel. Roland says, numismatics is the science of coin collecting, and numismatist is a coin collector. You're definitely right, man. Cool words and fun stuff, man. And then Roland says, your stream is holding up perfectly. And that's what I want to hear, man. I mean, this product, this ATEM Mini Pro, and again, you know, we all come from different, you know, different economic background, which is perfectly fine. I mean, I'm broke as pocus. You know, I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I mean, I am not a, you know, a financially proud individual. I'm not. And that's why I'm doing this, because I want to make myself financially sound. And And you know, it's cool that this product is such a solid performer. You know, given its price point. I mean, and this price point is, you know, if you're not a serious YouTuber or a serious Facebook live streamer, the price point of this product may be a little bit intimidating. And you can expand this video's description and then click the link there to find the current pricing and availability. But it's Coin Collector says, I've stayed in many of your coin collecting videos. I love numismatics. I normally watch your Chinese silver pandas. Chinese silver, I love the Chinese silver pandas, man. I mean, it's just such a cool coin. Those and the, you know, what's the one, not the Libertards, but the Libertads. The Libertads from Mexico, man. Those are cool coins. They are really cool. Yeah, just, again, it was something to, you know, it was one of those curiosities. It's like, you know, you never knew that, I never really realized that coin collecting existed as a hobby until I met the numismatist. And the dude was so cool. I mean, he and his wife down at, you know, we're down there in this, you know, British Virgin Island, you know, Peter Island, you know, just chilling. We're all drinking and having a good time. And he's talking about being a numismatist. And I just thought it was something I was completely unfamiliar with. But, you know, after returning from Peter Allen, I'm like, you know, this is something I want to more thoroughly explore. And, you know, that segued me into the coin review video. So I'm glad you appreciate those. And a lot of people, I'll be frank, a lot of people don't like them. They say, man, those things are goofy. And yeah, I mean, they are goofy, but do you really want to present a topic on video that's not somehow unique? And that was the whole approach with the coin reviews. It was just more of a, you know, who's this redneck talking about coins over a bathroom sink? You know, it was just kind of the unexpected vibe that I would hope that the viewer would get when they watch the video. And that's like, well, you know, who's this redneck and why is he talking about coins over a sink where he could drop his coin down the sink? It's just fun, man. Roland says, not a single stutter or issue with your video or audio. Very cool, man. And by the way, this is the medium on the ATEM Mini Pro. This is the medium setting. So, you know, based upon your feedback, and that's, you know, one of my main reasons for hosting this somewhat long duration live stream is to gather feedback from others. And, you know, what's really cool about this, man, Roland, is that we've been able to chat about this for a long time. And I mean, I've had distractions. I've had things I've had to do off camera. But you know, I've had distractions. I've had things I've had to do off camera. But it's just kind of cool that, you know, we're able to test this out. And it's just, this thing is running on its own. I mean, it's its own device right over there on my desk. And I mean, I've got my laptop interface to read the comments and reply to the comments, but it's beautiful. I mean, it really is. Roland says, the iOS YouTube app apparently doesn't support Super Chats. I'll watch another of your streams from my MacBook and throw one your way. Very cool, man. Yeah, dude. And again, Super Chats are optional. And honestly, man, I mean, I appreciate Super Chats, but just the fact that you've joined this show, just the fact that you discovered this show because of Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro is huge. I mean, if you want a Super Chat, that's awesome, and it supports my channel, but, you know, what you provided during this live show is far more valuable than a financial Super Chat, because what you've done, you know, we've chatted about this. You know, you were obviously searching for ATEM Mini Pro, and you know, you found me and I found you. And you know what I think we should do, and again, no pressure, but you know, if you want to if you want to collaborate, let's do that. Let's try to do some, if you've got questions that, that may exist pertaining to ATEM Mini Pro, and I know I've got a ton of them, shoot me a message. The best way to contact me directly is facebook.com/IrixGuy. Just drop me a message and say, hey man, this is Roland, and maybe we can do maybe we can do an upcoming live show just for, for troubleshooting, maybe curiosities. Maybe troubleshooting's too strong of a word, but ATEM Mini Pro curiosities, and just kind of work through this together, because it is a very awesome piece of hardware, and I'm convinced of that already. Roland says medium quality looks great. I appreciate that, because medium quality looking, and again, I had it over there during my last live show, but I put it here now. Looking at the on air section of my multi-view, the on air section right now says 6.96, 7.15 megabits per second. If I update it to high quality, it gets around 9 megabits per second because of my, budget rate internet. And again, you haven't been part of my live shows before, but I'm a very thrifty individual, and I'm a haggler. So, I'd gone to my ISP, my internet service provider, and I said, hey, I want something faster. Well, sir, we don't have anything faster. Long story short, the internet speed that I have right now is grandfathered, meaning that I shouldn't have to pay more for my internet. So even though it's not the fastest internet that I can get in my local area, at least I'm grandfathered. So if I can if you as a viewer can tolerate medium quality from the ATEM Mini Pro, that tells me, you know what, I don't need to pursue any better internet. Because really all I'm going to achieve if I pursue better internet is being able to do maximum quality reliably with the ATEM Mini Pro. But by doing that, I'm enhancing my cost. And when you're looking at a business, you don't want to introduce additional cost, subscription cost, if you can avoid it. So, for that reason, if you're happy with the medium quality of the ATEM Mini Pro, I'm going to stick with this. And, that feedback is super important. And that's, again, another reason I'm doing this live stream, because I want, the unfiltered, honest feedback for, for what looks good. So we've got Brad here. Brad says, check out my hyperlapse filmed last night. Pink, orange, yellow sky with the Saharan dust. Really cool 25-second video on my channel. Let me pop that up right now, Brad, and I'm going to pop up I'm going to pop up a link for everyone else as well. And Brad, we need to get on the live show, man. I was doing this test stream tonight, and am doing right now, just to test the longevity of this, of this live show here. Let me see. Let me pop open your video here, sir. Everyone just tuning in, Brad Hendo has been a guest on the show a few times. He's a very active YouTuber. He's got some super duper highly professional videos on his channel, and I'm about to link. So I just linked. Check out the link I just posted. That's Brad's Saharan dust video from the Mavic Air. Wait, is it Mavic Air 2? Let me see. From the Mavic 2 Zoom Saharan dust video. Roland says, kind of you to say, we'll chat offline. I don't use Facebook, so email would be preferable. Roland, I won't announce the entire address because you know how that goes, man, with spam and all that. You've heard of Gmail. You've heard of the Gmail internet at gmail.com. So Roland says this stream is professional quality. Dude, I appreciate that, man. I have nickel and dime myself to make this happen. So Yeah, medium looks great. I'm not even gonna dink with the high quality because why do I want to spend more, man? I'm grandfather at this internet rate, and I had to hustle to get this grandfathered rate because I'm a hustler, and I don't want to have to hustle again to get a grandfathered rate for faster internet. So my email address, Roland, just shoot me an email, and I'm not gonna say it directly because everything gets speech to text, and I don't want to get spammed. But it's at gmail.com, okay? So remember that. And the front of that, what I just said, is just IrixGuy, IrixGuy. So shoot me an email. Shoot me an email right now if you don't mind. So I've got you in my inbox, and then I'll reply so that we're in sync. And what would be really cool is for us to Roland, for us to bounce ideas off one another. Because actually, and Brad that's here right now that I just shared the Saharan Dust Mavic 2 Zoom video of, Brad he's been a live guest a few times. Hybrid Life's been a live guest. I think what would be really cool, and again, no pressure, but if you want to be a live guest as well, I think it'd be cool, everybody get together, kind of collaborate, real-time face on video, because what we're experiencing now. And I don't just look at it from the fun factor. I mean, this is fun, messing with the live stream and tinkering with the technology, da. But the bigger thing about this is that what we've got here is is a tool that given our uncertain situation in the world, throughout the world, we're able to communicate. And I think that's super cool, and having a reliable form of IP, Internet Protocol-based communication is super cool. And that's cool that this is actually working. And that's why I wanted to test this. And, you're rolling your feedback and questions, man. I think we can bounce so much off one another and just, really learn from one another. And that's invaluable, man. Jake says, hi from Kingston, Ontario, Canada. I'm late to the party. And my sisters are with me as always. So you got, let's see, sisters. I remember the names. Hold on. Maka. Mac. I am hitting a blank. Jake, I know we always talk about the foghorn at, this guy's name, Terry, foghorn video. I'm hitting a blank, man. Terry Peppers. We talk about the Terry Peppers video. McKenna and Maya. There you go. Okay. I hit a blank. I hit a blank with the Terry Peppers too. Yeah, we've been testing this, the live streaming capabilities. Got a new piece of hardware. You can check it out on my channel. It's the ATEM Mini Pro, and dude, I've been stress testing this, and this thing has been a boss. That was a sound of the super chat just for Jake. Jake is a long-term participant for the live shows, and again, this is just a very informal live show. I got to meet Roland, and we've been talking about the ATEM Mini Pro. I mean, part of the reason I did this live stream, it wasn't a live show. It was more of a, an informal, let's see how this technology works, because I wanted to see, who are the people that I can attract. And sure enough, I attracted Roland, and I'm sure Roland and I will be in touch. Great questions, great, we're on the same page. We're trying to learn this powerful and new product, and it's cool, man. I mean, the power of YouTube, man, the power of internet search. It is Jake says, oh, and I've got a special guest, my girlfriend Katie. She will be joining more frequently. I didn't get a notification or we would have been here sooner. Yeah, this was an informal live show, Jake. It was more of a, I'm testing this product called an ATEM Mini Pro. But get your girlfriend, get all her girlfriends, and we'll do it upright, man. We'll have a proper live show here in a few days. This is more or less a test of the new technology, man. And I'll tell you, this lighting, that's what I like about Roland. Roland said, man, your lighting's good. This is my God Ox. It's called God Ox lights. And yeah, it's super cool. But man, you know what I gotta do? And I know this sounds stupid, but you know, I'm just a YouTuber. I gotta go downstairs and eat some tacos and some tortilla chips and go to bed. So I appreciate everyone joining. And Roland says, there is something slightly intruding on the stage. You're right edge of the video stream. Unsure if it's part of your video or something at the edge of the camera. Is it if it's over there? If it's over there, it's my key light. Oh, I see what you're saying. That right there, that is actually part of the video backdrop, that little black strip that runs right down there. That was a pole in front of my camera when I was filming on Pinnell Island. Pinnell Island's right offside of St. Martin. What you're seeing in the background is St. Martin's French side, the Orient Beach and all of that. I'm on Pinnell Island where I filmed this. So yeah, great observation. That's actually part of what the camera filmed. Jake says, oh, okay, so it's like a surprise stream. Oh, speaking of streams, when is your next stream? Dude, I hope to do a stream tomorrow. And that's why I was doing this stream today, because I wanted to test a new technology. Again, this was not a live show for the purpose of having fun like we do on the live shows. This was a live show to make sure that I understood how to manipulate my new technology. In short, I invested about $600 US into a tool. And this tool has proven to be very reliable. Except for right then, I had to restart my... So my backdrop disappeared because I had to restart the video. So I need to check to see if there's a timeout on the video loop. I'm using my Apple TV to stream the background. But yeah, and I'm looking over there. If you kind of see me looking off the camera, I'm looking at the camera now. But if I kind of look over there, I'm looking at my studio monitor. It's just a very cool interface. So all that you're seeing now, all of this is coming through a dedicated piece of hardware, and you can find it linked within this video's description, but it's a dedicated piece of hardware that controls the internet live streams. So, you know, I don't have to use the software anymore, which is nice. Jake says, St. Martin is the best plane spotting place. You don't stand on the beach when a plane takes off or you will be blown off your feet. Yeah, Maho Beach on St. Martin is awesome, man. I love that. Actually, it's not funny, but it's a true story. I was down there a few weeks after I was in St. Martin on Maho Beach filming some YouTube videos. And this is not humorous at all, but a girl was unfortunately killed because of the jet blast. She was actually blown back from the jet blast, and you know, there's those concrete pillars on some parts of the beach, and her head hit it and she died, which is unfortunate. But yeah, jet blast is no joke, man. With that being said, when I was down there away from the rocks and the fence and all that, I wasn't right on the fence. I mean, she was one of the ones that was hugging the fence, but it's a very exciting experience, to say the least. Roland says, gotcha, beautiful video. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. What I'm going to do now as a final test is I'm going to try to flick over my outro segment before I depart from this test live stream here. Let's see. So what you're probably going to see now, you're going to see my background go away, or you're going to see it pause. And then the background went away. Now you see my Apple TV. And now I'm going to do my outro segment, which you should see as the outro segment.
Hey y'all,
and you probably hear me
IrixGuy
talking
here.
and that talking.
If you enjoyed this video,
so what I got to
please
figure
be
out
sure
some
to subscribe,
transitions
like,
on this.
and share.
Roland, if you want to get up, I think
like
a cool
that enable
learning
my channel
opportunity
to
for
continue
both
to
of
grow.
us
Thank you.
would be how to, and let me cut that outro there so it doesn't get in our way. Let me just pause it. I think, Roland, what would be cool, I know an area where I'm struggling, and I'm sure you've got areas where you're struggling as well. And I just paused the video, it was playing in the background because it had audio with it. But I think something would be cool if we could get together and chat about the how to use the transitions, because you could see there I was going from my live show where I had my live show background, but I wanted to cut out transition and just do the outro segment, and say goodbye to everyone. So I think we can figure that out. Roland says, ATEM Mini Pro is a good investment for you working flawlessly. You too, man. We got to get up. We got to collaborate on this, man. That's the best way for us to learn it. Jake says, it's actually illegal to hold onto the fence. If the police catch you, you're in trouble big time. Yeah, man. St. Martin police, no joke, man. Police is down there, man. Yeah, they definitely are. Roland says, I have to bolt. We'll email. Thanks again. Dude, definitely email. And Roland, I appreciate your feedback, sir. Jake